Today's video is all about how to talk to coaches to get more playing time. I'm Coach Conley with Conley Hoops, and I have coached and trained for 20 plus years, and my goal is to help as many players achieve their dreams of becoming a high school varsity basketball player. How do you talk to coaches about playing time? It is really difficult for a lot of young kids to talk to adults. This is a person that you respect, and really they feel like teachers, and we can't communicate with them. They just tell us what to do, and that's it. And that's true. I mean, your coach has all the power and they are in control. So yes, your fate is in their hands. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be communicating with them. You should know as a player where you stand and what you need to work on. Because if you never address it, then you're kind of blind to the whole thing and you're just going through the motions. As a basketball player, that is something you can't afford. You need to be able to direct your attention to the right areas so you can achieve success. The ultimate goal is for you to play, and that should be what you want. Coaches normally have a set way of doing things. So some coaches, you can talk to and are personable. Some coaches don't want any communication. It really does depend on what kind of coach you have. But let's say you can communicate with your coach. One thing I can tell you is that it shouldn't come from a parent. I know as a parent, we love our kids and we want them to be successful, but this is your child's goal. They need to learn, and it will help them in life to communicate as early as possible, as intimidating as it might be. Most coaches are willing to listen if you ask them. The one thing I can tell you, there is always a right and wrong time to talk to your coaches. So please, no matter what, don't talk to your coaches before or after games. Games are way too intense, way too emotional, and they're already committed. You need to find a time outside of that pressure to talk to a coach. And remember, this isn't about coach play me. This is to find out how you can help him win. That's what he cares about. He is never out to get you. He has a job, and it is a really high pressure situation. As a coach, we have 15 players. We have 5 starters. We probably go 8 or 9 deep most teams. And our only goal is to win. It doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. I made tons of mistakes. I've been coaching high school varsity basketball for 9 years, and I've made a ton of them. Some I regret, some I wish I would have done differently, some I got right and lucky. But we're never trying to hold a kid back. I want all my kids to be successful. If I could find a way to play all 15 guys, I would. It isn't realistic. You need rhythm. You need kids to play at their best all the time. And the best way to do that is to play a limited number of players. It is just how high school basketball works. And it works everywhere like that. So understand, when you're playing in a highly competitive program, it's really important to understand that first and then figure out from there, how do I fit in that rotation? How do I become one of that coach's guys? This isn't about favoritism. Most of the guys that are starting have become favorites because they did enough to help him win. So they're his favorites because for him, those are the guys he thinks he can win with, period. And understand, all the hard work that you put in practice and put into your game outside of practice that he doesn't see, those are all good things, but you still have to play for your high school coach. And I think it gets lost sometimes about, you might be the best player on your club team. You might be one of the best players in the program. But if you don't fit into his scheme and the team chemistry, that might be hard for you to break no matter what. So understand, there's always some limitations on what you can achieve, but knowing it gets you at least a step closer. You should never be like, man, I really don't know why I'm playing. So 1, be self-aware. Know who you are, what you bring to the table, and how you can help. Because when you go in to meet with that coach, you're going to have some good questions and understand he's probably going to be honest in multiple ways. So you should already know why you're not playing very much, what you bring to the table, and how you're going to help his team win. So first, Be self-aware, know where your skills are. Second, make sure you're asking these questions at a time before practice or after practice, sometime that's really relaxed. That's a really important thing. So what questions should you be asking? One, you don't ask, why am I not playing? Not a good question. You've got to ask, how do I earn more playing time? It has to be shown that you're willing to do more to help his team. That's what a coach wants to hear. Another question you can ask is, what do you need me to do? What role on the team can I play? Hopefully you're a versatile player and you can do multiple things. If you're just a shooting guard and there's another shooter in there and he's better than you, you're probably not going to play. In high school, I had a whole team of guys that were better than me. So as good as I was at shooting the ball, I thought I had a lot of confidence there. There was 5 guys that were all either taller, more athletic, better shooters, or one that ended up playing in the NBA. So you have to know what you can and can't accomplish with your role. Another good question to ask is, Coach, how do you see me on this team? Like, what do you see from me at practice? Like, do I practice hard enough? Am I a good teammate? Am I vocal enough? Do you see me as the 15th man? Do you see me as the 11th man? Am I number 9 and almost ready to crack the rotation? It's really important to know that, because if you're number 11, well, you got a lot of work to do to catch up to number 8, right? So make sure you're prepared for wherever you're at. It shouldn't matter to you. It might be disappointing. But the next step there is, okay, I'm number 11. How do I get to number 8? And this is something you should know, but it's still a good question to ask. You have to find out who your competition is. You can ask a coach, if I was to crack the top 8, who are the guys that I have to beat out? Whose spot can I take if I'm willing to put in the work? And that shows that you're competitive, that you know, and you're going to work really hard to try to take somebody's spot. Lastly, something you can do, whether you're in games or out of games, watch films with your coach. See if you can spend 30 minutes at lunch after school just watching some game film and figuring out what is he see that he might not like about certain things they do, and maybe it's something that you could fill a role in and be good at. One thing I will tell you though is that coach is always watching you. So you better make sure at practice that you are giving it your all, and he's not going to look at it and be like, well, you never come to practice, you're always late, you don't communicate at all, and you're the first guy to take a water break and the last guy to finish your sprints. You know a coach is always watching. When you don't think he is, are you still working as hard or harder than all the other guys on your team? Coaches are open books most of the time. I know they're intimidating, but coaches love basketball and they want to work with basketball players. If this is something you truly desire, learn to communicate with them, learn to respect them, and they will have respect for you. Even if it doesn't result in becoming a starter, you'll know your place on your team, and it will help you establish a role, even if it's not the exact one you want. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed today's content. Please leave a message. Please subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you would be interested in learning from our programs. And again, check out the next video coming up right now.